Hello, everyone. How are you? Hey, this is Ron Tijerina, Uncuffed. I hope you have been having a great couple weeks. I have been out of pocket. Man, when you make a decision that you want to do something new in your life, you want to create some content, you want to just expound upon what you've been learning, what you've been doing, and what you've been going through, and then all of a sudden, just things get in the way, right? And things distract you. And I want to encourage you: don't get distracted. It is easy to lose courage, to lose sight of what you intended to do. And I'm talking about myself. But guess what? I'm back. We're going to do this. We're going to go live tonight. And I want to talk about a couple things. There's been a lot of things happening on the news all over the world, with Ukraine, with Russia, the baby food, the formula that United States is having a shortage of. The gas prices are through the roof. The inflation is off the cuff, right? It's just there's so many things that we could talk about. But tonight I want to talk about work it out. Work it out. Man, I have been following just a little bit about the story of Johnny and Amber, and I think a lot of you have been following it too. And I just thought I'd give my 2 cents, tell you what I've been thinking about when I see. I haven't been following it at the beginning. I caught. I was paying attention, but the drama just began to just be overwhelming. Just the bickering, the hating, the backstabbing that they had been doing to one another, which is really hurtful. It's like, wow, here's two people who came together, had a dream, had an idea of what they wanted to do with themselves and their lives together, and then something went wrong. Something terribly went wrong in their relationship, and I want to talk to you about that, because that's what I do for a living. I work with couples. My wife and I, we work with people who've been in and out of marriages, divorced, get on divorce, and hopefully we can help them stay together, figure it out and work it out, right? And really walk it out. Maybe I should have called this "Walk It Out." And as I listened to some of the heartache and pain and the suffering that Amber and Johnny did to one another, and maybe there was more one side than the other, but that isn't even the issue. The issue is that they're two grown people with little children issues. They're two grown adults, and that's what I want to talk about. Because when you get into a relationship and you're bringing all this baggage and that you haven't dealt with when you were young, when you were teenagers, when you were in high school, and you got this prima donna attitude that it's all about you, there's no way this relationship is going to be successful. You see, they went into this relationship hoping that each other would satisfy each other's needs and not really considering the other person in this whole relationship, because it's been based upon each of them is counting on the other person to fulfill whatever it is they were looking for. Each person was looking for that other person to fulfill what they were missing, and that's how they missed it. You see, literally Amber and Johnny. And listen, I'm just going to give you a little bit. I'm not going to talk very long tonight, but I'm going to tell you what I think about this situation. And you guys have probably followed along, and they've been talking crazy, to one another, and everybody on the news feed, and just been watching this drama unfold. But really, the pain that we're all witnessing is that there's two lives that could have been mended, that could have been healed, that could have dealt with whatever it is that they were going through at the beginning. But instead of seeking any type of professional help, I'm talking about people who really care about them. I'm not talking about somebody that they go pay, a therapist or somebody that doesn't know them, but somebody who really cares about their success. And maybe it doesn't have to be somebody they know, right? It could be a stranger, but somebody who really is rooting for them, who really wants to help make it work for them. But when you go outside of yourselves and you're looking for love, right? The song goes, looking for love in all the wrong places, right? And when you have that type of atmosphere and that type of relationship, it is not going to work. When instead of going within yourself to look for that which you're looking for, and you go without looking for what you're looking for, you're going to literally, are you ready? You're going to literally go without. And that's what happened with Johnny and Amber. They literally went outside of themselves looking for whatever they was looking for outside of themselves. You see, they were counting on each other to fulfill what they were missing. They were counting on each other to occupy the space that was void in their life. But when they found out that each one of them couldn't do it, they became angry at one another. They became bitter at one another because they were disappointed. They were disappointed in what they were expecting, so expectations weren't met, right? They didn't put all the cards on the table. They were just counting on each other to fulfill each other's needs. And maybe at the beginning it was all physical and all that heated and passion that was going on between them. But when they came to some real substance, something that was real, authentic in their life, they couldn't find it because their foundation wasn't built on solid ground. It was built on sand. It was built on a lie. It was built on a myth. It was built on a fantasy. And when you go outside of yourself looking for somebody to fulfill that what you're looking for, that what you need, you literally are building something up that's on sand and not on solid ground. Because in order to find that love, that friendship, that peace, that security, that trust that you're looking for, you first have to find it within yourself. If you go outside yourself looking for somebody to fulfill your happiness, somebody who's going to bring you joy all the time, you're going to be disappointed because it's impossible for somebody to fulfill all your needs and wants on a 24/7, all the way around the clock, 365 days. It doesn't work that way. But when you can begin to find that peace and that joy within yourself, and then you begin to recognize what you found within you, you begin to attract where you're at. When you begin to attract where you're at, you will attract that type of joy, that type of peace, that type of love, that what you're looking for inside your heart, right? Inside your mind, inside your soul. And when you align these three together, whatever you shall ask, you shall have. Right? But when you're looking for love and over here and you're looking for friendship over there and you're scattered all over the place, you get a Johnny and Amber experience. I promise you. It happens every time because you're going to be disappointed, right? Expectations are not going to be fulfilled. You're going to get angry. You're going to become bitter. You're going to start telling yourself, I am wasting my time on this situation, on this person. Why am I here? And when you begin to think like that and talk like that, then you begin to withdraw. You begin to not fulfill or not even attempt to help men or fulfill your obligations that you may have had with one another, because now you're building resentment. You're building bitterness toward each other because you are so disappointed that what you thought you were going to get, it didn't work out. You know, it's the same story with Will Smith and Jada Smith. It's the same story, right? Two people looking for something outside of themselves to be fulfilled, and you see what happened there, right? But with Johnny and Amber, everybody gets to see that. But instead of them working it out, they decided to make their lives a public spectacle for the world to see. Now, I'm going to give also another angle of this thing. I think a lot of it, too, is because they love the camera. They love to be seen. And in this case, it's not a pretty light. One of them seems to be coming out on top, right? One of them is that going to be the winner. One's going to be the loser. But see, in a healthy relationship, you have two winners. You never have a winner and a loser when it's a healthy relationship. Only when it's a destructive situation, when it's an atmosphere of chaos, an atmosphere of cancer. And that's what they were building and breeding in their own lives together. You know, when you hear all the testimony of the people that were surrounding them, it is incredible that they were actually, you know, this is like Jerry Springer, right? You know what I'm talking about? When you watch the Jerry Springer show, everybody there is paid to let out all their garbage and to let the world laugh at them. And you know, it's just really disgusting to see how people would allow others to talk about them in a way that's degrading, disrespectful, dishonorable. You see, that's not how love works. Love covers. Love does not expose. And unfortunately, Johnny and Amber never got that part in their relationship. Instead of covering each other up with love, and where love is, you know, it casts out all fear, right? In other words, it casts out all judgment where perfect love resides, because you know each other. You're confiding in one another. You're confessing each other's weaknesses to one another. And you're pulling on each other's strengths to lift each other up. But when your marriage or relationship is based upon a fantasy and based upon on false bravado, right? Not even real courage. You're just going through the motions and you don't know how to get out. You don't know how to deal with it. So you throw temper tantrums, right? And that's what Johnny and Amber were doing, throwing these fits, throwing these temper tantrums to one another, to where now, guess what? We all get to hear about their stories. We all get to see on live TV what's going on in their lives. And that's a sad commentary. That's a sad ending to something that could have been so beautiful. But when you got two strong people, or two grown people, really, with childlike attitudes, childlike behaviors, right? And two grown people acting like children, you will always get broken toys. You will always break the dishes. You will always break the house, right? And that's what's happening. That which they built was not founded on any solid ground, and now we all get to see what it looks like. So I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you tonight. If you're having troubles right now, if you're going through a situation with your loved one, there's your significant other, the person you said, I want to spend the rest of your life with, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and it's in rough waters right now, get some proper help. Don't let it get too far to where, you know what, now the whole wide world knows. Because you know what? You got to come up with a decision. There has to be a decision in your life where you have to sit down with one another and you got to say, you know what? Divorce is not an option. Now, if you're married, I want to encourage you. If you're going through some hard times, if it's rough right now, you know what? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There are no perfect marriages. There are no such thing as perfect marriages. Now, my wife and I, her name is Kathy. We don't have a perfect marriage. We don't have a perfect relationship, but our relationship is healthy and it's permanent. You see, practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. If you practice something that is negative and you do it many, many times over again, it will become something permanent in your life. Just like the positive things. If you practice those things over and over again, it will become something permanent in your life. Practice does not make perfect. It makes permanent. So Kathy and I do not have a perfect relationship, but it's permanent and it's healthy. And that's what we're striving for. So if you're in a marriage right now that is going through some tough times, I want to encourage you to get some help. I want to encourage you, don't put it out there in the paper. Don't let the world see it. Deal with it. Protect your children, cover your family. Love covers. And I know there's some tough times. Listen, fellas, if you're being a lame, if you're being a jerk, if you're not doing what you're manning up and being that man of honor, man of good character, it's time to man up. It's time to own the dirt on your highway. It's time to quit blaming your significant other. Quit blaming somebody else for your own situation. You can see that with Amber and Johnny, with Will and Jada and everybody else. You can see that the drama has been exposed and we all get to see it. Everybody blames everybody else, and no one takes responsibility for the trash that they made. No one takes responsibility for their lane, for their part of the highway, right? And I want to encourage you, take responsibility. Own your own mess. And I promise you, as you begin to see the trash that you created and you begin to pick it up and you begin to deal with it, you begin to examine it, you begin to put it back in its rightful place, you begin to walk through this process called healing and you walk through it together, I promise you, you will come out stronger, better for each other on the other end. But if you continue to throw each other's trash and getting each other's lanes dirty and messed up, never picking up your own garbage, but always blaming each other for your own trash and your own mistakes, your own problems, and blaming others for it, you will never get healed. You will never be successful. You will always be found wanting. You will always come up short when you don't take responsibility for your own actions. You see, that's what you don't hear being talked about. You don't hear anybody take responsibility for the choices you made. Take responsibility for the things you've said. Take responsibility for the things you did. No one is saying that to these people. They're, in fact, they're celebrating. They've got two sides now. Two factions is going at it, right? They're fighting among one another. But now they got other people rooting for the other person, right? Instead of coming together and say, listen, both of you are lames. Both of you are childlike. Get it together. Quit exposing all your trash for everybody. Work it out. Work it out. Telling the whole wide world all that garbage is crazy. Is crazy, right? I know hurting people hurt others. I'm telling you right now, that's what you're witnessing right now too. Hurt people hurt others. They're hurting each other. They're not lifting each other up. They're not edifying each other up. The entire family is being taken through the mud, right? There ain't nothing sacred anymore, right? But let me tell you about healed people. Healed people heal others. They learn to come together, to talk sensibly, to deal with situations, to own their mistakes, right? I'm telling you, to witness what we've been witnessing on this Amber and Johnny story is actually pathetic. It's sad. Here's two grown people with little children issues who have made millions upon millions of dollars. It goes to show you that no matter how much money you have, it doesn't buy happiness. And I'm going to give you one more. All the money you have in the world doesn't buy character. It doesn't buy honesty, integrity, honor. Right? It doesn't buy that. That is something that's got to be innate in you and be nurtured and grown, producing its fruit in its due season. But when you're constantly bickering and biting and snapping each other off, right? Flipping each other off, doing all those crazy things and letting the whole wide world know where your shortcomings are at, that's ridiculous. That's childlike. And I'm telling you right now, grow up. If that's you, if you're doing that to your wife, gentlemen, if you're doing that to your significant other, if you're treating her less than the queen that she should be in your life, then you need to check yourself. Now, ladies, if you're doing the same thing to your husband, to your man, disrespecting him and dishonor him, this is, you reap what you sow. Both of you reap what you sow. I want to encourage you, stop what you're doing. Grab each other's hand and just apologize to one another. If that's what you're doing, say, you know what, we need to stop this. We need to figure this out. You know, hey, check us out on our webpage. Check us out. Find us. We got a great book out there. It's called Love Never Fails, right? Check it out on Amazon. Love Never Fails by Ron and Kathy Tijerina. Go check out our book, right? If you're looking for answers, you're looking for some help, 5 key principles on how to build that forever lasting family. Right? This is learned behavior. You want to have a successful family? Then you got to be taught. You want to have a successful relationship? This is learned behavior, because nature tells us it's selfishness. It's all about me. But I want to challenge you. Don't be a Johnny and Amber. Don't be a Will and Jada. Don't be that. Be above that. Be your greatest you. Be the greatest you. Quit believing that this is the best you got. You've been arguing and fighting for far too long. It's time to say, I'm sorry. It's time to ask for forgiveness. It's time to put those words into action and begin doing things differently in your life if you want to change your life, if you're not happy with your outcome. Listen, everybody goes through problems. Everybody has ups and downs. There's a measure of pain and suffering in everybody's life. Right? A marriage, a relationship is hard. It's hard work, but I tell you what, if you're where you're supposed to be at, you will work hard for it because it's worth it. Hard work is worth this relationship. Kathy and I have been married almost 36 years this year. I tell you what, and she still likes me. What about you? Can you say that about your lady? How long you been together? How long you been married? This takes work. Is it going to be easy? Of course not. I just said it's going to take work, but it's worth it. It's worth the effort. Quit expecting that somebody owes you something. She owes you nothing. He owes you nothing. The two of you owe each other everything. Woo, I don't think you feel me. You owe each other everything. First of all, to be honest, to say you're sorry, to say I love you, say forgive me. Say it. Forgive me. And then ask why, and then make sure you say what you need forgiveness for. Don't forget that part. That's important, right? I believe it in you. I know you can do it. Let's say to ourselves, you know what? I don't want what Johnny and Amber have. You know, because a lot of people looked up to Johnny, right? In all his movies, he's a movie star, great actor. Even that Amber, you know, in her right, she's an actor too, an actress, and people liked her, right? But they play a character. But in real life, what happened? You see, let me give you another tidbit right here. In their acting career, they were really good at memorizing lines. They're really good at playing a fake person. They're really good at portraying somebody they are not, right? Because if you're not who you say you are, you will be exposed for who you really are. And that's what we're seeing right now with Johnny and Amber. You see, they couldn't separate the fantasy from the reality. They didn't like the reality. They didn't like the life they were living. So they constantly went back to the fake world. And then, you know what? That fake world crept into the real world. So now they feel like they're on another stage, acting out a part. The domestic abuse and all this. Now, I'm not saying none of it ain't real. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying right now that, you know what, man, wow, you couldn't figure it out. You couldn't tell each other, let's go get some help. You couldn't get it together. You all that money in the world, but the thing about it is, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Humbling yourself, asking for help before the whole wide world knows your business. That's the word for the night. Work it out. Work it out. Love covers. Love does not expose. Hey, listen, my name is Ron Tijerina. I just want to give my 2 cents in. I've been a while since I've been gone. Help me, help you. Subscribe to this channel. Let's make this channel grow, and let's share this, what I've talked about tonight. I hope it has inspired you and helped you in any way. If so, leave me a comment, and let's talk about this some more. All right, till next time, always remember, hey, I'm rooting for you.